Your survival mechanism is like that survival kit that some people keep inside their vehicle. And you know, especially like up north, they have these little survival kits and they keep in their back seat. And it's a little small kit. But that kit, when you open it up, it's got all kind of different things, odds and ends, right? It's got a little thermal blanket. It's got maybe some small MRE. Maybe it's got some needle and thread. It's got some pliers. It's a little survival kit. And you look at the kit when you're in your everyday successful day and it's beautiful outside and all that, and you think, wow, I don't really need that. You're looking at it then and it doesn't look like that it's really needed. But when you need it most, you can reach in that back seat, open up that survival kit, and what you needed is right in there. That's what your life is. Hip-hop artist Jeezy was talking about the murder of another hip-hop artist, Pop Smoke. And he said Pop grew up in one of the toughest neighborhoods around. And he made a name for himself. He started getting successful and he bought a big house in the Hollywood Hills. But someone from his past went to the Hollywood Hills and murdered him. And he said, with Pop's death, it was a reminder to me that everything I do, man, it's 95% talent, sure, but I always got to keep that 10% survival about me. And he said, I maintain that thought, that awareness, because you never fully arrive, nor do you ever want to fully arrive. Because what happens is you tend to lose sight. When success shows up, survival goes away. And if you think about that, man, the more successful you become, you kind of lose that survival edge to you. And you always need that 5 or 10% just in reserve. Because that 5 or 10%, man, is that hard edge. It's that nastiness that sometimes you need. It's that if I lose it all, I know how to build it back. See, if I lose it all, am I going to sit there and see, when people don't have that survival edge, when they haven't been maintaining the survival edge, then when they lose it all, they don't know what to do, because they no longer have that edge. All they had was success. All they had was the great foods, the fine wine, the great friends to share it with who aren't around now that I've lost it all. See, when that's why you got to keep that 10 in the chamber, man. So when rough times hit, you can draw on those resources, and where most people stand around and seem to be limp and seem to be helpless and look around and need someone to swoop in and save them, you say, all right, here's my 10%. I know what to do from here. You always got to keep that survival edge about you, man. Think of your survival edge as your hot water heater. And you know, at the bottom of your hot water heater, the little pilot light stays lit. And it's just an innocent little pilot light, right? But when it's needed most, that pilot light will flare up into a raging inferno, and it'll heat up that whole tank. And so when it's needed most, you don't have to light the pilot. The pilot's been lit the whole time. All you got to do is, if you need to, you turn the knob, and it becomes a raging inferno. You know, I have a generator by my office, and even on beautiful days, man, sometimes that generator will kick on for no reason. And it's kicking on because, and it'll run for a few minutes and then it'll quiet down. But see, it's kicking on and off all throughout different times, because what it is the system is testing its readiness. So when the lights go off, the generator comes on, it's showtime. See, that's that 90-10 I'm talking about. And sometimes, man, there are going to be events in your life where the 90-10, the percentages flip. See, right now, it may be 90% talent, 10% survival, that you just maintain a little bit of that edge, but there are going to be times in your life where the percentages flip and all of a sudden you need 10% talent and 90% survival. And you won't be standing around looking at anything. You immediately go into action because, see, you've kept your pilot lit the whole time. See, there's going to be extreme discomfort at times in your life. There's going to be times where you have to shift way down in the first gear, when everything is on the line, and you gotta flip the switch on that survival. And sometimes that generator kicks on. Sometimes that generator is going to kick on for you just throughout your life, just throughout your days. And I think it does it often, man, on just ordinary days. And I think it's that 10%, where 90% of our day is well. And then we have that 10%, man, that kicks on. And when you have the discomfort, when you have the anger, when you have something that you have to all of a sudden dig deep on, remind yourself, that's my generator kicking on. See, life is testing your reserves. Life is testing your survival skills. And they're minor, dude. They're minor, but that's all it is. Like the generator on the side of the building, it kicks on and off just for a few minutes. It doesn't have to run all day. But that way, if it has to run all day, it can. If it has to run for a long period of time, it can. So there are going to be times, man, where your generator kicks on. Answer the call. Answer that call. And sometimes, man, it's a nasty customer. That's your generator kicking in. Can you lengthen the discomfort, or can you sit in the discomfort? Can you sit in the tension and work through it, or do you just melt down into a soupy mess, man? Does that one customer mess up 2 weeks of your productivity? Sometimes, man, that generator will kick on, and it's that late night deal. And you know those late night deals, man, where it's been dead all day long? I mean, all day. And you are like by the minute. I got about 3 more minutes and I'm out of here, and all of a sudden a customer walks in. That's your generator kicking on. And where you have to draw on your mental resources. And it's that survival mode. It's survival in the sense that, are you going to fall back into the success and be like, well, I've done good, man, screw this, I'm not going to give my all? Or will you switch into a survival? No, it's not life or death, but really it is. It is life or death, because this is life testing your resources, saying, even on this minor instance, can you answer the call, man? Sometimes that survival mechanism will kick in when you don't feel like going to run. We don't feel like going to knock out that last set. When you're on that last mile, when you're too close to the house, or you can power down the treadmill and you could just sit there and walk. That's your survival mechanism kicking in. That's your generator kicking on, testing your reserves. What you got? David Goggins talks about that, man, where he says sometimes, man, you gotta maintain that hunger, where you have to empty out the fridge. Sometimes you have to empty out that refrigerator in your mind. That generator, let me tell you how that generator will kick on also. It's denying yourself of certain foods. See, when you were broke, or when you were really on this health kick, you denied yourself of certain foods, where everybody else was partying up and eating batches of cookies and eating boudin balls and all these fried trays, and you said, no, I'm good. Or when you were broke, man, you didn't have the extra money to buy fresh sushi from the supermarket, man. You had to buy tuna packs, man. But see, it was though you didn't have to, you were never up against, you were in survival mode, right? You were in survival mode. I was in that 90% mode, man. So I didn't have the money to be able to lavishly buy extra food anyway. I had just enough, man, just to eat. And now that you're successful, will you still deny yourself of certain foods? Will you deny yourself of certain instances? Just for the moment, man. Not for your whole life. But sometimes that's life testing you. Testing your reserves. Seeing if that's your generator kicking on. Will you power it up? Or will you power it down? So you got to notice these moments. You got to notice these moments, and then you got to answer the call, man. And some of these moments will be more extreme than others. And I think when they are more extreme, I think it's two things actually. I think it's either life saying you're fully prepared, or sometimes it's life saying you're not fully charged. So today I'm going to be a little bit more extreme because you need to fully charge back up. Your survival mechanism is like that survival kit that some people keep inside their vehicle. And especially like up north, they have these little survival kits and they keep in their back seat. And it's a little small kit. But that kit, when you open it up, it's got all kind of different things, odds and ends, right? It's got a little thermal blanket. It's got maybe some small MRE. Maybe it's got some needle and thread. It's got some pliers. It's a little survival kit. And you look at the kit when you're in your everyday successful day and it's beautiful outside and all that, and you think, wow, I don't really need that. You're looking at it then and it doesn't look like that it's really needed. But when you need it most, you can reach in that back seat, open up that survival kit, and what you needed is right in there. That's what your life is. See, that survival kit will sometimes get you through, or sometimes that survival kit will save your life. And you gotta have that. You gotta have that 90-10, 90% talent, 10% survival. So when you need 90% survival, 10% talent, you're ready. You can answer the call. Let's go. Remember, never settle. Keep selling your way through life, no matter what. Have an amazing day. Stay in the sales life.